Welcome to the Chevy MLB pregame show on Fox. Chevy, an American revolution.
So bad that I fell out of bed. There was a gas strike, oil strike, lorry strike, gas strike. I'll be a Superman to survive. I really like to change the world. Save it from the messes. I'm too weak. I'm so thin. I'd like to fly, but I can't even swim.
The postseason pitching, defense, and the breaks, Kevin Kennedy.
Unbelievable right here. Little ground ball to third. Pujols actually should not have been running right there. Out at home plate by Brad Ossis. But what about Larry Walker? Heads up plate, Kenny Lofton getting to third base. I've seen you do that before.
That was awesome.
And then the double play ball at the end. Is it time? Is it in time, I should say? John Mabry couldn't get down the line fast enough. That ball didn't look like it was hit hard enough. The game would end, and the Astros go up.
I think your question was right, though. Is it time? Is it time for the Astros to move on to the World Series? And what about the White Sox? Game 5, they're on the brink of wrapping up the ALCS for a shot at its first World Series title since 1917. That's the last time they had the title. Jeannie Zalaska along with Kevin Kennedy and Kenny Lofton back for more.
Back for more.
Back for more. All right, I know you love these stats. Of the 12 teams that have taken a 3-1 lead in the ALCS, 9 have advanced to the World Series. We have seen the collapse in the NLCS before. I'm trying to remember the last time.
You mean Chicago?
Cubs, that's right. You were there. You witnessed it firsthand. Unbelievable to go through.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a case where we had our best pitching staff on the mound, and it was a sure win, and it didn't happen. And, guys were disappointed.
Do you remember the night before? Obviously, you lost it. What Dusty Baker might have said to you guys to try to rally the troops when it was all tied up again?
Dusty's pretty calm. He said, you know what? We got our best pitcher on the mound. We just go out and do it. Kept it simple.
Down 3-1, both series now. What's the mindset going into tomorrow? And you guys felt you had to come back, obviously, and win 3 straight. Only the Red Sox we've seen do this, something unusual last year, winning 4 straight. But it's a tough mindset. But it's got to be set by the top of the order.
Yeah.
Pasetnik and Sean Figgins are the key guys for me in this ball game.
Exactly. As Scott Pasetnik said, we will play as if we were actually trailing in this series, if we can convince ourselves it's reality.
Now, we were talking yesterday about Pasetnik, how to steal bases, be aggressive, or go deeper in the count. And Ken, you saw it like yesterday. Give me your insight into Pasetnik and what he's going through.
Well, right here was a 2-1 count. That's a good count to go on because now at this point, the pitcher has to throw a strike, and he don't want to worry about the base runner at this point, throw a strike. And
he's also got his confidence back. And, you compare Figgins to Pasetnik. We talk about the table setters bringing that up. You were a table setter. Sean, unfortunately, is not getting it done for the second year in a row in the postseason. Looks like he's really pressing a little bit, pulling off his swing, and that's not his game. You talk about contact.
The key to him, he has to put the ball in play. He cannot strike out at this point. He has to do anything, maybe the first pitch or second pitch, put the ball in play. With his speed, anything can happen.
And Sean, of course, playing defense at third, playing some center. Different lineup we'll get to later for the Angels. But here's a guy also. The table setters have to get on, but when they do get on, Vladdy has to do the job. That's the guy you count on. No extra base hits. 63 batting average. I talked to some people in Anaheim this morning, and they said, it's really not the shoulder. I mean, that's not the issue right now. It's exactly what you said. He's just expanding the zone right now.
He's expanding the zone. He's pulling his head off the ball. And when you pull your head off the ball, you can't hit. You can't hit what you can't see.
Jeannie.
Perfect thing to say. Can't hit what you can't see. I can see this coming. The Cardinals coming into this game today thinking about, this could be the biggest challenge of the 2005 season, facing the real Killer Bees, banged up, battered, banished into land where mere mortal teams go. So this is how the other half lives. Yikes.
Reggie Sanders back in the lineup. Back, he was pretty much outstanding as far as I'm concerned today. And I thought Jason Lane really has come up big. These young guys have done it in the postseason for the Astros. 26 home runs in the regular season. But Jeff Suppan did his job. And we go to the 7th inning right here.
Talking about the little stuff. Craig Biggio making it happen.
Execution, Kenny.
Exactly right there. The pitcher has to make the play, and he did.
And how about this call by Phil Cuzzi right there? Now, it looked like a ball up and in, and all game long there's been some discrepancy. Tony La Russa getting kicked out in the 7th inning, and you're watching this, Kenny. You saw it happen. You didn't like some of the calls.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. You got to deal with it.
And Morgan Ensberg gets a sac fly here in the 7th inning. 2-1 lead, and it looks pretty good for the Astros, because the bullpen has been outstanding all season long, including Brad Lidge. Oh, what happened there? Wasn't it the same pitch?
That's tough right there.
Inconsistency right there. And Jimmy Edmonds would get kicked out of this ball game. And this can't happen where the umpire makes a difference in who wins and who loses on the field.
It can't happen. We've been seeing it this
We've been seeing it too much. I hate to say that.
ALCS.
Because the umpires have done a pretty good job this year. Now, Brad Lidge didn't look like he had a slider early in this 9th inning, but
of course, the Cardinals getting to him yesterday. They had not scored a runoff lift since late May of 2003.
Pujols the base hit, Walker the base hit, first and third. Little chopper we just saw a moment ago, another slider right here. But the heads-up base running, not a Pujols right there, because I don't think it should have gone. It should have been second and third and one out.
Someone called timeout.
The Walker stole a base right there when the play was not continued.
That's a great turn right here. That's a great
How about the 4-6-3 turn? Talking about that play, really, Jim, I want to get into that just a little bit more. It's 2-1 in the final score, obviously. But Larry Walker rounded second base. The play has to continue because the catcher, nobody called timeout, and that's why Larry Walker got to third base. Yet, still double play situation.
Well, the good thing about that is that at the point of the time, the guy was still moving, so the umpire cannot call a timeout when that happens.
Exactly.
If the guy's still moving off the base, the umpire has to wait to get closer to the base before he calls timeout.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mr. La Russa was already tossed from the game as these follies continued, so he couldn't speak to the umpires, but he spoke to our cameras. We'd like to share.
Hit the ball in play, if we punch out. But, Reggie put the ball in play, John, with 2 strikes. I mean, it was really a lot of great things, and we get a 0. I mean, this game is, there's some real great things about it, and there's some things that absolutely stink.
Tony, how do you compare Brad Lidge to some of the other relievers you faced in postseason baseball?
Postseason, regular season, spring training, he's right there, toughest. Ranks up there with the best that I've had the experience against.
Right here.
How frustrating is it that the Astros have struggled with runners in scoring position, yet they keep coming up with ways to beat you guys?
Well, normally when you miss some chances like they have the last couple of days, it normally comes back to haunt you. That's why I say, in the end, our organization does a great job of playing against the other side. We don't play against the umpires.
Everybody talks about La Russa's ability to see things before they're happening. He called out the umpires yesterday, which we thought was just more of a tactic, really just trying to set the tone so that Roger Clemens wouldn't own the plate. But now we're seeing the antics today.
All you ask for is an umpire to be consistent both ways. If it's going to be called up and in a strike, and it is a hitter. And Jimmy, this ball's down and away. Now, you really can't have both. That's down below the knee. Anytime the catcher jerks the ball up, he's letting you know the ball was down. I'm going to try to frame it for you. That ball, all right, maybe that's not too bad. This is early in the ball game, Kenny. Well, early, I should say 6th inning, but then it happened again. Take us through it.
I mean, it's a case where, you're thinking it's a ball because it's coming around the plate. And that's what he's thinking at this point. And then this one right here, I thought it was up.
Yeah, I mean,
it reaches that point, you can't contain yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
But you want it for both sides. If Jimmy Edmonds is going to get banged out, Berkman not, that's a problem La Russa had. That's a problem Jimmy Edmonds had. And I got to say, I agree with him in that situation.
All right, still ahead. Ozzie may be cocky, but he's not crazy. He has seen a 3-1 lead vanish in the Windy City. And from Hardball to Pigskin, highlights from the National Football League are in your future.
One man challenges the impossible. Hannibal versus Rome. Check local listings on the National Geographic Channel.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV.
The Major League Baseball playoffs on Fox are brought to you by Menards.
All design begins with a single line. A line that challenges. A line that creates power or control or size. At Infinity, a line has been drawn.
Oh, before I forget, here your bills.
Bills?
For what? Calling me on my cell phone.
$8.50.
Did I ask to hear about your lady problems?
$23?
Trust me, the only one who wants to hear about your golf game is you. He's got a point.
What?
Why pay for calls you didn't make?
Switch to U.S. Cellular.
Get unlimited Call Me minutes plus 1,300 anytime minutes for $49.95 a month. U.S. Cellular. We connect with you.
At LaSalle Bank, we believe when a bank is part of the community, more is possible. LaSalle Bank, making more possible.
Touran has more horsepower than BMW X3 2.5, more stars than Ford Escape, more passenger room than Jeep Liberty, and more looks than all of them combined. The first ever Pontiac Touran, now with Pontiac's total value promise. Get more without paying more.
The first ever Touran starts at $21,990 after available cash back. See your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Pontiac dealer.
For second, that 70 show returns, and this year we're giving you everything you've ever asked for. Bruce Willis and Ashton Kutcher star in the same show. That should be fun. Oh, that's hot. Fez gets his wish.
We're gonna be roommates. Hot diggity.
And
where's the stripper?
A stripper moves in with the Foremans.
There she is! There's a stripper in the kitchen!
You're welcome. That 70 show. Don't miss the 1-hour season premiere November 2nd on Fox.
On Fox NFL Sunday, see who goes 10 yards with TB. Then, Bledsoe and the Cowboys take on Alexander and the Seahawks. Fox NFL Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, next week in HD.
Welcome back to the Chevy MLB pregame show on Fox. Chevy, an American revolution.
The White Sox set a franchise record with their 105th victory. 106 may be the hardest to come by. It will mean the city of Chicago will host its first World Series game in 46 years. That is the last thing Adam Kennedy has planned for his next week of TV viewing on Fox. And Mike Scioscia actually holding a closed-door meeting last night. He said he would keep it real simple. Basically, they need to win tonight. They need to go to Chicago. They need to win again and again. Basically, just keeping it really simple. Let's see if Adam Kennedy's keeping that same thought as he catches up with our Chris Myers.
All right, Jeannie, a little south of you at Angels Stadium. We get ready for Game 5 of this ALCS with the White Sox up 3-1. And now welcome to the booth. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Lou Piniella in just a second. Well, the White Sox did last night what they had done the previous 2 nights. That is, ride their starting pitching for a complete game and get timely hitting, get a victory. Now tonight, you turn it all around again, and you've got José Contreras, the starter in Game 1, against Paul Byrd. And Tim McCarver, Ozzie Guillen will tell you that last night it's easy to look at the start by Freddie Garcia. It's easy to look at the home run by Konerko. He thought the turning point in the game happened with Iguchi tagging up in the first.
I think so many people are talking about the starting pitching of the White Sox. What is lost is what they've done in the first inning of the last 2 games. Last night, for instance, Scott Podsednik, a leadoff walk against Irvin Santana. Then on the second pitch, Iguchi is hit by a pitch, and then with Jermaine Dye flying to center, Iguchi, the trail runner, goes to second base, and then the 3-2 slider to Paul Konerko, and once again, the White Sox take the lead.
So they take the lead, they get the good start from Freddie Garcia, and they get the victory. And now, Lou Piniella, I'll ask you, if you're the Angels and you're not getting any hitting, you've been a part of this as a manager, part of this as a player. What do you try to do to get some life out of your lineup?
Well, I remember when I played for the New York Yankees and Billy Martin was our manager. At times, we struggled offensively. And he'd come in the clubhouse and say, fellas, we're going to do something a little different today. He'd have a hat full of names, he'd draw them out, and as he drew them out, it dictated where people hit in the lineup. It relaxed the players, it made them laugh, it made them forget about the hitting. Now, I think he cheated a little bit because he never drew the catcher spot in the leadoff spot. So, Scioscia obviously can't do anything that drastic. He's made some subtle changes in the lineup, and we'll see how they work for the Angels.
Garrett Anderson is in center field. They've got the bat of Rivera in there, and Kochman's back in there again tonight as the Angels try to get something going against White Sox pitching. We send it back up a little north.
Yep.
Genie, it's all yours. Game 5 is coming up in just moments.
Rally monkeys, baseball bats, baseball hats, baseball.
Need a few more things than a rally monk. You need a bunch of guys to swing a bat and not get so tense.
And, you know, Gene, I want to get back to this because we can go through our show very fast, but I want to ask Kenny, being down 3-1, as you alluded to at the top of the show, what's the mindset when you try to come back? I mean, everybody says one game at a time. The Red Sox proved they could do it, but it's very tough. It's very difficult.
Well, it's very difficult, but the mindset is that it's one game at a time, and you must win. I mean, that's the bottom line. You need to do whatever you have to do. Put the things out of the grab bag or whatever.
Kenny, are you starting to grip, though? Do guys start pressing even more? Do you get to the point, you know, where our backs to the wall, why not just loosen up and play?
I think some guys do and some guys don't. But I think in my situation, if I'm in that position, I'm just saying, you know what, do what I do best. If I need to bunt, I'm going to bunt today. If I need to get on and steal second and third, I'm going to do that. But that's what I do. So guys have to do what they do.
Keeping it simple. All right, A.J. Pierzynski wanted us to believe he was just a guy doing his job when he took off running for first base Wednesday night in Chicago. So why is he back in the middle of the fray? Our sharp Aqua's moment to see is coming your way.
Catcher's interference right there last night. We saw the play in Game 2, of course, and the getting to first base on the pass ball or whatever, the ball that, you know, the catcher didn't tag the base runner, and you know, all those things that AJ's happened in this postseason. And then A.J. Pierzynski, 18 home runs this year, and he's at 3 in the postseason. He's definitely in the middle of everything, and the umpires are also in the middle of everything too.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to break. Still ahead. This one has gone to the bird for the Angels as these Sox continue with their plan to make their own history. Off to a great start. Do I hear back to back to back to back? Stop me, stop me. Complete games? You know, we'll find out after this.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. No.
Okay.
Oh, Chubsy, come on. The answer's always...
No!
That's right.
Oh. No!
I'm not hearing it.
No! No! No!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should have worked at Capital One!
What's in your wallet?
No!
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
Men love trucks. Chevy trucks. Why? Because when the pavement ends, so do the excuses. Enter the 2006 Silverado Z71 with off-road tuned suspension, and unlike Ford or Dodge, an automatic rear locker that lets you grip and go where others might think twice. Silverado from Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Long live the truck.
The Chevy MLB pregame show is sponsored by Capital One, what's in your wallet? By Circuit City, just what I needed. By Pepsi, it's the cola. And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American Revolution.
Well, here's our matchup this evening, but can't go without saying the pitching that we have seen from the White Sox in this series, setting an ALCS record last night with back-to-back-to-back 3 consecutive complete games. Will we see 4? I don't think they really care. They just want to get a victory tonight. They're on the brink. Talking about the Chicago White Sox, 1 win away from heading to the World Series. We need to get you out to the ball game. Ozzie Guillen was calling all Chicago baseball fans to unite around the Sox. I'm thinking, Steve Bartman, you can go ahead and take a pass on this one. The Chevy pregame show goes live to Anaheim for Game 5 of the ALCS. It is next on Fox.
A little rain in October, on and off today in Southern California. We prepare for game number 5 of the American League Championship Series. The Chicago White Sox up 3 games to 1, visiting and taking on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Lou Piniella in just a second. Well, a different night, same result for the White Sox last night in Game 4. They got the great starting pitching. They got timely hitting. They get the victory from Freddie Garcia. And Tim McCarver, you think about how the White Sox are up 3 games to 1, and they have clearly done it with almost flawless starting pitching.
Well, the Angels find themselves in this predicament. They are facing a staff that's thrown 3 complete games against them. The first time since 1987 during the regular season that the White Sox have done that. And the losing pitcher in Game 1 is a starter tonight, José Contreras, and he's the hottest pitcher in baseball over the last 2 months. Consider this, in Game 1, even though he lost, he retired 16 of the last 18 Angels to face him.
And he ended up giving way to the bullpen. Neil Kotz threw 2/3 that night, and that's it for the bullpen for the White Sox so far in this ALCS. On the other side, we've got Lou Piniella. And Lou, now we've got 2 teams in LCS play that are down 3 games to 1. If you're the Angels, you're Mike Scioscia, how do you try to get this team up to play the White Sox tonight?
Well, Joe, last night when the Angel team left the field, I felt that they were a beaten team. Their body language told us a lot. I think Mike Scioscia and his coaching staff noticed that, and they called a rare team meeting in postseason. And Mike's message was simple. Listen, you're only 3 games away from going to the World Series. Keep your confidence. Play aggressively. We've beaten this team before. We can do it again. Well, if last year's ALCS is any indication, when the Red Sox were down 3-0 to the Yankees and came back to win, well, the Angels still have hope.
It has been a long time for the White Sox since they have been to the World Series. You have to go back to 1959. 46 years it's been. And will tonight be a trip to the Fall Classic for the White Sox? Or will the Angels force a Game 6 2 nights from now in Chicago? Should be fun. Glad you're with us. Game 5 is yours next on Fox.
Okay, so you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's Schick Quattro Midnight. With 4 blades, nothing shaves closer, keeping you smooth into the night. Schick Quattro Midnight. Nothing beats the power of 4. And try the new Schick Quattro Power for a less irritating shave than your current razor. New Schick Quattro Power. Turn on the power of 4.
First base, $58. Second base, 630 pesos. Third base, 300,000 yen. Home, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Fan of the game, wherever there's a game.
Better health. Sometimes it's in the genes, but as often as not, it's connected to the quality of the information you have at hand. And that's what makes WebMD America's most trusted health information source. It's a place where people find information they could never get their hands on before, where doctors discover new and better ways to care for their patients. A place where everyone can make the connection between better information and better health. WebMD.
Ford product engineers work hard. Anybody can see that. Since they need to be with the cars, we took out their desk phones and extended their workplace with Sprint Business. It's helping us shorten the time from concept to showroom, and it's easy to reach them. Dan?
Dan's gonna have to call you back.
By saying yes to working from anywhere, we're building more new products faster.
With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Yes, you can.
Fox Friday. The executive producer of CSI is taking on San Francisco's most deviant crimes.
We got identical twins with identical murders.
See why Entertainment Weekly gives it an A. That's deviant. Killer Instinct. Catch an all-new episode at 9, 8 Central. Fox Friday. Viewer discretion advised.
The League Championship Series on Fox is sponsored by Sprint Business. Sprint Business, yes, you can. By WebMD, better information, better health. By Zathura, in theaters November 11th. And by Schick Quattro Power. This is Angel Stadium. These are people wearing red. They're clapping their thunder sticks together. They hope to have no need for the rally monkey. They hope to force a game 6 on, I don't know, Tuesday night in Chicago. And off we go. The starting lineup for the White Sox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Scott Podsednik leads it off in left. Tadahito Iguchi is batting in the number 2 spot again. Jermaine Dye. Paul Konerko cleans up. Everett the DH. Rowland at center. Pierzynski at catcher. Creedy at third. And Juan Uribe is the shortstop batting 9th. Baseball fans, grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And with that, Paul Byrd throws his last warm-up toss. And the right-hander who won 12 games during the regular season and won game 1 of this ALCS is on the mound, and we learn more about the veteran right-hander.
Well, when you think of Paul Byrd compared to any of the White Sox starters, he's in no way like them because he teases hitters with balls off the plate. And as we said in game 1, he has the most unusual changeup that any of us have ever seen, a one-fingered changeup developed during the season.
Podsednik first up, and it's a strike over the outside corner. Scott last night walked 3 times and tripled. He has a 10-game hitting streak against Angels pitching. Slashed foul. It's 0-2. The White Sox have outscored the opposition in the first inning 12-2. In this postseason, when they score first, they're 5-0. Ball 1. Byrd in that start went 6+, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, a walk, a strikeout. Creedy hit a home run against him, but a 3-2 win for the Angels in game 1. 2-2.
That's that one-fingered changeup we were talking about.
It's a very effective pitch, especially to left-hand hitters.
Pretty good pitch. That's good enough. 1 away. Byrd almost got him on the pitch before that. See how the Angels cover the field. It's brought to you by State Farm. Rivera in left, Anderson in center. That's a change. Garrett Anderson agreed to play center before tonight's game. Guerrero in right. Kennedy is the second baseman. He has not made an error in 24 career postseason games. He's joined by Figgins, Cabrera, and Erstad, with Benji Molina doing the catching. 1 out, nobody on, and here is Iguchi. White Sox up 3-1. The Astros up 3-1 with a 2-1 win today over St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The field's got a little bit of that sawdust on it. It rained a little bit here this afternoon.
It poured from time to time last night. On the outside corner, strike 2. Because of the forecast after last night's game, they actually covered the field. As Lou talked about, you can see that diamond dry, and Iguchi is hit again. He was hit last night. The infield has that diamond dry on top of it. It's 1 on, 1 out as Byrd hits Iguchi up in the ribs.
That was a ball that just got away from Paul Byrd. It looked like a slider that just slipped out of his hand. And for the second night in a row, as you said, Joe, Iguchi is hit.
So Iguchi is on, 1 out, and Jermaine Dye steps in. Dye so far in this series, 3 out of 15, 2 RBIs. Ball 1.
for Bird to be effective, he's got to be able to pitch inside, and that's exactly what he's trying to do here early in the first inning.
Good rip by Dye, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. It's Paul Bird and José Contreras tonight. Ozzie Guillen before the game telling us he hopes his club has to stay around for an extra hour tonight so they can celebrate. He wants to win it here in Southern California, does not want to run the risk of getting this series back to Chicago and giving the Angels any life. Strike two.
Sosa on the other side loves deep dish pizza, and the best place to get it, Chicago.
Best deep dish pizza in the country.
And I'm sure Mike eats a lot of it.
He loves it.
Lou, you say that affectionately.
I like it myself. I like Mike Sosa.
Here's 1-2 pitch. Dye is jammed. And a little flare. In comes Rivera. Can't get to it. Aguchi holds at second. Rivera very deep in left, and Dye is on with a flared hit. He was jammed. He got enough of it to get it beyond Cabrera and in front of Rivera.
You would think that that ball had enough hang time that it's got to be caught either by Cabrera or Dye. Or I should say Rivera. If Rivera can't get to a ball like that, then he's too deep. I mean, when a pitcher makes a pitch like that and gets that type of hit, you've got to catch the ball. Somebody's got to catch it.
I think it was more the left fielder's ball than the shortstop ball. That ball went out there to short left field. I don't know if the outfielder got a good jump or what, but I agree. The ball should have been caught.
So it's 2 on with 1 out for Konerko, who has gone deep in the first inning each of the last 2 nights. Bird wanted that pitch, didn't get it, and asked Ed Rapuano where it missed. Ball 1.
Yeah, Konerko's hurt the Angels more than any other hitter in that lineup. They've got to find an answer for him.
Konerko with 31 first inning RBIs during the regular season. That was the best in Major League Baseball. 5 this postseason, and there's a strike.
Good slider that backed up, stayed in the strike zone.
Bird and the Angels trying to keep the White Sox off the board here in the first. 2 on, 1 out. Scooped up by Molina, 2-1.
You can get Konerko to chase as long as the breaking ball has the illusion of a strike. But if the breaking ball stays in that strike zone, Konerko can extend on it and do some damage.
We've seen that the last 2 nights. 2 breaking balls, 2 3-run homers.
Both on 3-2 pitches. That pitch was hittable, and Konerko fouled it back. 2-2. A new sensation and an old sensation for Konerko and the White Sox. Back-to-back 40 home run seasons. And the sensation for the White Sox has been home runs in the first in games 3 and 4. And he has a chance here in game 5. 2 on, 1 out, and a 2-2 count.
Lou talked about it in game 1, how Konerko cuts down his swing with 2 strikes.
That's in the air to right. Guerrero is there, 2 down. Aguchi tags and will make it to third. First and third, 2 out.
Pretty good swing there by Konerko with 2 strikes. Stayed inside the ball and lined it. Unfortunately, right at Guerrero. He's been impressive in this series, no doubt.
So the Angels get past Konerko. The relay by Cabrera too late. We talked when we came on the air about the difference in last night's game, according to Ozzie Guillen, was Aguchi tagging and advancing a base on a fly ball to center by Dye last night. And at this point, it's a small thing. It could be a big thing if Paul Bird bounces one here to Everett.
It's a bigger thing, too. You've got the first base hole open now, you've got to hold the base runner. When you got runners on first and second, your first baseman can be deep. So that's a big advantage with the left-hand hitter up for the White Sox.
Everett with a chance to put Chicago on top. John Cooper just making sure the phone works to the bullpen. He hasn't had to use it. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Like Everett with that leg lift fouls one off his right knee. Yeah, close that right foot is to home plate. But as the pitch is on its way, he opens up.
Runners at the corners, 2 out, and Everett pops it up. Paul Bird has done something the Angels haven't been able to do the last 2 nights. Hang a 0 in the first. Angels trying to stay alive. Come to bat.
Some secrets should never be discovered. Some games
Meteor shower.
should never be played. On November 11th, they'll do whatever it takes.
Where's Lisa?
Lisa is upstairs.
To get back home.
Gotta keep playing. I'm gonna win this thing.
That was pretty intense.
Zathura.
The house looks fantastic.
Rated PG.
Okay, we've got a break in the action.
Oh, good. I can play the Grand Slam quiz.
You like these, don't you?
Yeah, as long as there's no math.
Not likely. Okay, who insures more drivers than the other 3 companies combined?
Well, the biggest one.
I think they're looking for something a bit more specific.
Okay, not that one. Definitely not that one. Or that one. I'm going to go with State Farm.
Gee, Bob, how'd you know?
Oh, it's a no-brainer.
Your specialty.
Well, thank you.
All design begins with a single line. A line that challenges. A line that creates power, or control, or size. At Infinity, a line has been drawn.
In the inning, and there's strike 2 on the bomber. What an epic battle we're witnessing. He digs back in. No, wait. What's he doing? The bomber is calling his shot.
I'm all over that.
He's pointing beyond the outfield fence.
Yeah, buddy.
Are we witnessing history? And there it goes!
Bud Light. Great taste. Great times.
What drives a man to such greatness?
Bud Light, Bud Light, Bud Light. Ooh, a hot dog.
The League Championship Series on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. Smooth and refreshing Bud Light. Great taste for your great times. Take a look at the lineup for the Angels. It's a little different tonight. And you look at the stat that will roll into the bottom of the list. Figgins, Cabrera, Anderson, Guerrero, Erstad, Molina, Kochman in there again, Rivera, and Kennedy. No Finley. His bat is on the bench for Mike Scioscia. That lineup sponsored by Taco Bell, and at the bottom it showed you that this Angels team is hitting 177 in the ALCS. They scored a total of 8 runs. Figgins, every time he looks up, it's 0-2.
That's a nice aggressive swing by Figgins on that pitch. You know, the Angel hitters face a little bit of a predicament here. They can't afford to get overly aggressive because they haven't walked much, but they don't want to get themselves in these 2-strike situations because they'll have to hit Senor Tombolina.
Is that the forkball?
That's the name for the Cuban forkball.
Senor
Tombolina.
Tombolina. Not to be confused with Thumbelina.
Exactly.
Sounds like something you'd order from a Cuban restaurant.
There's the Thumbelina. And it misses low for ball 1. Cabrera will follow, then Garrett Anderson, a late switch to this lineup. Biggins in the air to right center field. Rowan, one out. Scouting report on the man who possesses Tumbleina.
Jose Contreras with a world of confidence. He's lost only one game since August 15th. A devastating fork ball. Now the difference, for those of you who may not know, the difference between a fork ball and a splitter is a fork ball is held back in the grip. The splitter is held more toward the fingertips. So fingertip splitter, fork ball, as you can see, back between the index finger and the middle finger.
Ball one up and into Cabrera. Taking a strike, it's 1-1. One of the reasons that Mike Scioscia thinks this lineup is struggling, and Lou, you brought it up to him, only 2 walks handed out by the White Sox to Angels hitters. Here's a pop-up, and Contreras off the mound to grab it for out number 2. With 2 out, nobody on, we look at the White Sox and how they cover the field. It's brought to you by State Farm. Podsednik, Rowand, and Dye in the outfield. Creedy, Uribe, Iguchi, and Canerco on the infield, with Pierzynski doing the catching. And for more on that late lineup change, which includes the man digging in at the plate right now, Garrett Anderson, let's go to Chris Myers.
Hey, Joe, at the last moment, Mike Scioscia wanted to put Vladimir Guerrero in the cleanup spot and Garrett Anderson third because he wanted to go lefty-righty throughout the lineup against Contreras. And hitting coach Mickey Hatcher told me that Guerrero had his best batting practice of this series before the game. They had their pitching coach throw Guerrero low pitches so he could feel his legs more and compress his swing. Hatcher said Vladimir's confidence is key. All it takes is one swing to turn this around. He said, forget about desperate housewives. These are desperate angels on a Sunday night.
Here's a pitch down and in to Garrett Anderson. In fact, Scioscia said it could turn around even on a foul ball back to the screen if he feels like his timing is back. That's Guerrero. This is Anderson, and he is way out in front. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. What we were talking about as you look at this replay is Scioscia said, well, it's one thing to not get walks, but if you wait around, they've been so good with first pitch strikes against us. You look up and you're in the hole. Anderson.
It's quite a predicament.
Coming into the game, the Chicago White Sox had thrown 81 first pitch strikes in 127 plate appearances. 65% of the strikes on the first pitch.
Anderson trying just to get a piece as he's been out in front of the last 3 deliveries. Still 1-2.
As compared to the league average of what, Timmy?
59%. You don't want to get bogged down with numbers. The whole thing is when you're throwing a first pitch strike, the odds of getting a hitter out go up dramatically.
Anderson, another foul. Yet I think it's nice of Lou to give you the opportunity to get that stat out since you had your abacus and your protractor and compass out figuring that up before game 5.
I did it longhand.
Well, the base is empty and 2 out. Anderson, not much hard from Contreras in this at bat to Garrett Anderson.
One thing I've noticed here, the fans are more into this ball game earlier than the other 2. They're waiting to explode if the Angels can just supply some hitting punch.
Well, the White Sox took them out of the game in the first inning in games 3 and 4.
On 1-2, Anderson finally gets a pitch to hit, and he jumps it into left.
After all of those fork balls, he jams him with a fastball and kind of loops one into left field. I think the thing about Vladimir Guerrero, what he's been doing is pulling that left side. That's probably, for major league hitters, the worst thing that they could do and the most prominent thing that they do when they're hitting poorly is letting that left shoulder fly if you're a right-handed batter.
1 on, 2 out. Guerrero off the end of the bat, pops it up. Shallow right center field. Iguchi is there, and Vladimir Guerrero is now 1 for 17 in this series. He has 1 RBI this entire postseason. They can't get some pop from Guerrero yet. Second inning, no score.
I promise.
I promise.
I promise. The all-new Chevy Impala gets an estimated 31 highway miles per gallon.
Malibu LS with 32.
Cobalt LS, 34.
And Aveo with 35.
I promise that Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy.
We even took a Silverado and created the first full-size hybrid pickup truck.
I promise fuel economy is just as important to Chevy as it is to you.
That's a Chevy Total Value Promise.
It's time to discover Lunesta, a sleep aid that can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
Think of the little ones. Life insurance, loans, retirement. AIG.
They were the last survivors of the human race, trapped in a walled city, surrounded by predators.
They're communicating, they're thinking.
But now, the barrier has been broken. Own Land of the Dead on DVD Tuesday.
We're breaking out of here.
If you haven't seen television's most exciting new thriller, now is the perfect time to get on board Prison Break.
Let's go.
Getting through this wall is just the beginning.
Prison Break returns Monday, October 24th on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
The White Sox represent the common man. It's old school and new school, and we bring it all together, and we make the 2005 White Sox the best team in the league.
Oh, there's a celebration at the plate.
I live for this.
Watch the World Series on Fox. Don't miss it.
Aaron Rowan got a hit last night. He's 2 out of 15 in this LCS, and he takes on the inside corner strike one, and he's surprised to find out it was a strike. Home plate umpire Ed Rapuano. 0-1 pitch. Line down the right field line, slicing into the corner. It's a fair ball and a double. Good start for the White Sox here in the second as Aaron Rowan gets his 3rd hit of this series.
Fine hitting by Rowan. It appeared the ball hit on the line or very, very close to it. Angels fans are trying to pull it foul. Just inside the line.
Now that was a fastball on the inside part of the plate. He just stayed inside of it. Good piece of hitting.
Here's A.J. Pierzynski.
Pierzynski's job here, obviously, either get him in or get him over.
He is a career .395 hitter against right-handed pitching in the postseason. Last night he hit a mammoth home run into center in the 4th, and he's bunting. And Molina makes the play, 1 out. Sacrifice is good, 2-3. And Tim, you talked to Ozzie Guillen about bunting early, and they're trying to get a run on the board for José Contreras.
Bunted early 2 nights ago with Iguchi in the 1st inning. That turned into a 3-run home run. Now a fine bunt. Normally you don't do that with your 7th place hitter for the bottom of the order. But the bottom of the order for the White Sox, Joe Creedy and Juan Uribe, 2 pretty good RBI men.
They've been productive. Although I don't think Ozzie gave him the bunt sign. I think Brzezinski did that on himself.
Runner at third, one out. Infield is in, and Creedy takes the ball inside. I know some managers have that sign that leaves it up to the hitter. Get him over any way you can. If you want to bunt him over, bunt him over. You want to try and pull it, but it's up to you to get it done. And Brzezinski dropped down a bunt. Runner at third, one out. Infield in. Creedy takes inside. It's 2-0. The team that has scored first has won every game of this LCS to this point. That obviously includes the Angels in game 1. The 2-0. Flied into center field. Rowan will tag and put the White Sox on top. Garrett Anderson is content to just flip it back into the infield, and it's 1-0 Chicago here in the second. So Creedy knocks in his 6th run of the postseason, his 5th in this ALCS. A double, a bunt, a sac fly, and a trivia question. Our Lunesta trivia question. Other than Adam Kennedy, which 2 players have also hit 3 home runs in a single LCS game? Kennedy did it back in 2002 in the clincher against Minnesota. The base is empty, 2 out. Uribe shows bunt, takes a strike.
When your starting pitching has been as good as the White Sox for the first 4 games of this series, you play the early innings like the late innings. And that's what Ozzie Guillen did, playing for 1 run in the second. Unusual, but effective.
0-2 on Uribe.
It's called fundamental baseball. Double, get him over, sacrifice fly, 1-0 lead.
They don't know what to do when it starts to rain in October in Southern California, but it's raining. Just adds to the ambiance here tonight at Angel Stadium. To the left side, Figgins charges it. Off we go into the bottom of the second. The Angels will bat with Erstad, Molina, and Kochman coming up. 1-0, the White Sox trying to clinch it on top.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. I'd seen that look before. Neutralized acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
With so much more to see, shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal Television? From Sharp.
AmeriQuest, official mortgage company of Major League Baseball. When it's time to buy a home or refinance, call 1-800-AmeriQuest or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, proud sponsor of the American Dream.
For years, E-Trade stood outside, throwing stones at the financial establishment. Now that we've matured and offer everything from trading to banking, we're doing it from inside. Be extraordinary at eTrade.com.
That's what the White Sox are trying to do here tonight. Take it on home and wait for the winner of the Astros and Cardinals for this year's World Series. The Angels would like to accompany them home for Game 6 on Tuesday night. World Series will start in the American League ballpark after the win by the AL in the All-Star game. Here's ball 2, 2-0.
Feel like you get ahead of Contreras. Feel like a free swing is coming up. Erstad will look inside.
2-1.
It's a bit of a surprise taking on that pitch. I mean, you get him in that situation, you want to swing at that ball.
Well, the ball was out away from him just a little bit.
As is that. Now the count's even 2-2. When Contreras was struggling earlier this season, they picked him up back in July of 2004, and then he started this season really struggling. Ozzie Guillen pulled him into his office and he said, just close your eyes, and when you open them, when you're on the mound, picture yourself pitching for Cuba against Italy or Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. See, I think Darren Erstad took himself into a strikeout then. That's the one thing you can't do against Contreras. You take 2-0, in a couple of pitches, you foul the ball off, and now you got to hit this thing. And this thing's nasty.
It is nasty.
1 out, the strikeout of Erstad, and the batter will be Benji Molina. For the Cuban national team, Contreras put together a record of 117 and 50, and an ERA of 2.82. He was 2-0 during the 2000 Olympics. And he was the pride and joy on the mound for Fidel Castro. Molina is jammed and he grounds to Uribe. He has time. 2 out.
In that Olympics, he threw 160 pitches in one game and pitched 2 days later and pitched a complete game. 160 pitches, had 1 day of rest, and then won a complete game.
Do you think, Timmy, that they had pitch counts in Cuba?
I think they had a lot of Senor Tombolinos.
Well, if you ask Ozzie Guillen, he'll tell you the reason why he pitched after that 1 day arrest is because Fidel Castro called and told the manager Contreras is pitching.
We need a win today.
So Fidel Castro spoke and Contreras pitched and did his job.
Pretty powerful pitching coach.
Yeah. That power trumps Steinbrenner's power. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. Kochman checked his swing and fouled it. Strike 2.
Or Trump's power. Trump's power. How about his comments about Alex Rodriguez today?
Well, they were somewhat surprising. I'm going to call Alex next time Trump builds a casino or golf course or another tower, that Alex give him some advice.
Donald Trump saying on a radio show that Alex Rodriguez puts up the big numbers in games that don't count, don't matter. So even Donald Trump's piling on A-Rod. We're through 2 innings here in Anaheim with the rain falling. Contreras through 2 shutout innings has a 1-0 Chicago lead.
There's a party going on and you're wondering, what's the occasion? Monopoly is back at McDonald's, and we're the unofficial fan club. Everyone thinks I'm psychic, but since every Best Buy chance piece is guaranteed at least 1 Best Buy buck, and you've got a 1 in 3 chance to win 3 Best Buy bucks, you don't need to have special powers. Just go to McDonald's. The more you play, the more Best Buy bucks you win, and the more awesome products you can get. Now that's a reason to celebrate. So, who's up for McDonald's?
When we got married, suddenly we had 2 of everything.
They had a lot of stuff.
2 dinette sets, 2 dogs.
2 car insurance companies.
I'm State Farm agent Joan Roysum, and this is a true story.
We had to get rid of a few things.
Yeah, mainly my things.
He had State Farm.
She had a gecko.
I helped them compare rates and coverage.
It was no comparison.
He was right. For once.
This time, one of my things stayed.
Last year, 1.3 million drivers switched to State Farm. Call an agent today and you'll switch too.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
You have a prototype, they have a prototype. You have overseas suppliers, they have overseas suppliers. You have low-cost manufacturing, they have low-cost manufacturing. You have packaging. They have packaging. You have an ad agency. They have an ad agency. You have a supply chain that flies through customs, bypasses warehouses, and gets your product on the shelves faster. They have a new ad agency.
The HP Pavilion DV1000, powered by Intel Centrino mobile technology. And the HP PhotoSmart 3310 all-in-one. Edit, organize, and wirelessly print brilliant 4x6 color photos in about 14 seconds. Brilliantly simple.
Now, an important baseball message from Pamela Anderson. Stacked returns Wednesday, November 9th on Fox. Starring Pamela Anderson.
Once again, our Lunesta trivia question. Other than Adam Kennedy, which two players have also hit 3 home runs in a single LCS game? The answer, Bob Robertson, 1971 for the Pirates, Game 2 in San Francisco, and George Brett in 1978 against Pinella's Yankees for the Royals in Game 3 at Yankee Stadium.
What a hitter George Brett was. He had the prettiest weight shift of any hitter I've seen in the big league level the past 15, 20 years, 30 years.
Baseball swing just like a golf swing, huh?
Just like a golf swing on a different plane.
Here's a 1-1. Sednick takes up an away ball 2.
In fact, when I was managing in Seattle, Lee Ely, our hitting coach, would take a couple of our hitters at times to a golf pro to get them to get the feel of shifting back and shifting through and releasing the club head. And it helped.
That's a scam. You bought that as a manager?
I sure did. Either that or my hitting coach loved to play golf.
Yeah.
Use it as an excuse.
Look, Lou, I've got to take these guys to the golf course. We've got to straighten them out. And we're playing spyglass. But don't worry. We'll get their swings straightened around. Come on, Lou. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the second baseman, Kennedy. 1 away. That'll bring in Iguchi, and the rain picks up a little bit.
Never hear of any golfers showing up at the batting cage, though, do you?
Well, actually, we had Tiger Woods. He was good friends with Ken Griffey Jr., and Tiger Woods would come over and take batting practice from time to time.
How'd he look?
He looked fine. Took him a few swings to get adjusted to that wood bat, but he lined the ball around the field, and I told him, I said, you know, we can give you an at-bat once in a while. He said, no. He says, I'm happy just with the BP.
Yeah. 0-1 is the count on Iguchi. There's a flaw to Angel Stadium. The rain actually lands in the broadcast booth. There are many umbrellas out. A lot of these people probably don't even carry umbrellas around with them. See some that look like they were purchased back in 1972. 0-2 pitch. Iguchi takes it inside. Ball 1. Chris, more on the rain.
It's coming down a little more steadily and a little heavier than the cameras can actually catch, Joe. In fact, the groundskeeper met with the umpires in between innings. The tarp was over the field over last night. The rain is supposed to clear through the area. Last rain out, in case you're wondering, in Anaheim, 95 against the White Sox. Never a postseason game rained out here, and of course it never rains in Southern California.
During the break, that's Jerry Crawford, the crew chief, along with Randy Marsh. And they got the weather report that Chris just gave us. 2 out here, and the base is empty for Jermaine Dye. Umpires have been heavily involved in this series and talked about a lot. And after today, with a game in Houston between the Cardinals and the Astros, they'll be the focus, at least one of the focuses of their Game 4. You see an umpire somewhere, just go up and hug them. They need love. It's been a rough October.
Tony La Russa run from the Cardinals-Astros game, as was Jim Edmonds, the center fielder.
Here's an 0-2 from Bird. Wow. Right on cue.
You noticed how Molina just held the ball there, but he had to cross the plate to get the strike.
Wow.
But when you cross the plate, you often don't get that pitch. If you're setting up inside, you have to cross the plate to the outside, you don't get it. But that ball was a strike.
Either hug an umpire or hug Scioscia. He's getting tired of being on the short end of these calls. So the inning continues, and the count's 2-2 on Jermaine Dye with Konerko on deck. Too far inside. It's a full count. And now Ed Rapuano turns and yells back at Scioscia. It's a full count. Dye singled his first time up. It was 2 on for Konerko, who flied to right, and then with first and third 2 out, Everett popped up. And then the second, a double by Rowan, a bunt by Pierzynski, and a sac fly by Creedy. And it's 1-0 White Sox, top of the third. Three-2 to the third baseman Figgins. Long throw, takes his time, and shows a good arm. Good play. Down go the White Sox for the first time tonight. 1, 2, 3. Rivera, Kennedy, and Figgins coming up for the Angels. Down 1.
For a limited time, systems with Intel Pentium D processors and a 19-inch flat panel start at $999. XPS, the ultimate Dell PC.
I don't know. Yeah, to me, a dog's a dog. You got this one stock, you stare at it every month thinking it's going to come back, but it just sits there. It'd be nice if your quarterly report had some kind of analysis or something to help you decide when to move on or not. Like a dog meter, you know?
Remember, guys, Tom will be paying with his Visa card. You guys will represent the 5 layers of Visa security. Matt, zero liability. Brandon, identity theft assistance. Russ, fraud monitoring.
Why am I fraud monitoring?
What?
Why can't I be zero liability?
Well, Russ, I'm actually zero liability.
Why can't you be identity theft assistance?
I'm identity theft assistance. Hey, listen, I'll be fraud monitoring. You? Fraud monitoring?
With Visa, you're protected.
I'm the director.
Well, why can't I be the director?
Is that your new Sprint phone?
Uh-huh. With Sprint's new fair and flexible plans, no one can tell me what to do. I can talk when and how I want. It's my little way of sticking it to the man.
But you are the man.
I know.
So you're sticking it to yourself.
Maybe.
Sprint's new fair and flexible plans. With no huge overages or roaming charges, you control your plan. It doesn't control you. Plans start at just $29.99 a month. Sprint. Yes, you can.
Well, the rally monkey jumping up and down, and everybody dancing all around. You can feel that magic when the Angels play.
Ball game over. Angels win it.
I live for this.
Watch the World Series on Fox. Don't miss it.
Folks, Prison Break returns Monday, October 24th, and if you haven't seen this year's breakout hit, it's a cross between The Great Escape and The Shawshank Redemption. 2 great films. It's about a guy who gets himself thrown into prison to break his brother out, who was set up by the government in a murder rap. The action returns Monday, October 24th. Here's a base hit down the line. Podsednik juggles it. Rivera's going to try and stretch it and make it. Good start to the third for the Angels.
Very, very good base running by Rivera, knowing since he plays left field how wet the outfield is. Would be a tough throw for Podsednik, who has to pivot to make the throw. Good base running by Rivera.
Well, Mike Scioscia juggled his lineup around tonight. to get the bat of Rivera and the bat of Kochman in there. And to do that, he sat Finley. So Rivera starts this third with a double. That's how it's scored, and here's Kennedy.
White Sox are looking for a bunt. I wouldn't bunt here. You got Figgins on deck. He's been struggling. He has a tough time hitting a fly deep enough to get the runner in anyway.
Kennedy, a 300 hitter during the regular season. But they are shortened up, the White Sox are. And a throw down to second will head into center. Rivera to third. The throw by Rowand, too late. And Contreras just did for the Angels what Kennedy was up there to do, which is advance the runner.
And you can see Uribe saying, come on, come on, come on. That's a daylight play. When there's daylight between the runner and the shortstop, the pitcher throws to the vacated base, knowing the shortstop's going to be there. The throw is low. And Rivera to third on an error by Contreras.
It's one of the few mistakes the White Sox have made in this series.
This series with runners in scoring position, 2 for 16 are the Angels. They hit just under 300 during the regular season when they won 95 games. Kennedy fouled, strike one.
In this situation, if you're the White Sox pitcher, all you want to do is get out of this inning, give up the 1 run, and go on to the next inning. A younger pitcher might try to get out of this inning with no runs being scored. Before you know it, you got a big inning going.
Rivera is just the second leadoff man to reach in the last 20 innings for the Angels, and now he'll score. 1-1 on a base hit by Kennedy.
Contreras, like a lot of guys who throw the splitter and the fork ball, when they work from the stretch, they don't have the body, the movement in the lower part of the body and the high leg kick to get the fork ball down. They're more inclined to hang it. And this is a hanging fork ball laced to left center by Kennedy.
Contreras has been his own worst enemy in this series. He tried to turn a double play on a ball hit back to him the third inning of game 1. They couldn't turn it and a run scored. Happened to be the difference in the game. And now here the throwing error leads to the RBI hit, and now Figgins will bunt, at least try to, strike one. Here's a spot where if you're Sean Figgins, you're not getting on base. You're not adding to the attack, and all the Angels need him to do is get the ball down and get Kennedy into scoring position for Cabrera, who's been so good with runners on in his career in the postseason.
He had one successful sacrifice in game 1.
Got to add to the attack any way you can, and Figgins gets it down. The throw by Creedy, thought about trying to get Kennedy, and Figgins does his job.
Good fundamental baseball by the Angels, and Figgins laid down a really nice bunt.
Creedy had an idea about going to second. I think shrewdly went to first.
Well, I mean, if you go to second, even if you get him, Figgins is on.
Yeah,
he's going to run.
Right.
Contreras can't hold anybody on anyway, so you might as well take the sure out.
Sure.
Opponents 30 out of 32 in stealing bases against Contreras this season, including the postseason.
And the one thing Adam Kennedy will do, he won't steal second base, but he'll steal third.
Here's Cabrera. Orlando 6 RBIs this postseason. On the first pitch, he grounds to Uribe. 2 out. And it's going to be up to Garrett Anderson. So here's the switch that Mike Scioscia made within an hour before the start of tonight's game. He flip-flopped Anderson and Guerrero, putting Anderson in the number 3 spot. And here he is with a chance to put the Angels on top with 2 out in the third. Anderson took Contreras deep for a home run in game 1. Ball 1. Back in game 1, a no-doubter. Off off the bat of Anderson starting the second. They got a run there. They got 2 more in the third and held on for a 3-2 win. That gets away from Pierzynski and probably a pass ball. And it's 2-0 on Anderson. And it's a big deal with that runner at third, Tim.
That's right. With the forkball thrown by Contreras, he led the major leagues in wild pitches with 20, sharing that dubious honor with Freddie Garcia, who won last night. Did this ball hit the dirt? No, it did not. Should be a pass ball.
Curious to see what he does with Anderson here. Same sequence, the first at bat. With 2 strikes, he lined a fastball to left field. Stayed with the split finger forkball.
3-0. They've ruled that a wild pitch, but clearly that should have been a pass ball as Pierzynski just boxed it. Anderson taking a walk.
Well, this is a wonderful opportunity here. But what a talented young man. In fact, when you look at Guerrero, the 2 guys that swing the bat the hardest in this league are this guy and Gary Sheffield.
And yet Guerrero's always been a consistent hitter. He's hit 300 every year and every month within every year. And yet here he is, came into this game with a career 196 batting average during postseason play. Only 1 RBI in this series, a chance to give his team the lead. Strike 1.
You know, during the season, when a player gets in a rut like that, as a manager, you can sit him for a day or 2, so he can relax. Playoff time, boy, you just stay in the lineup. You've got to hit your way out of it.
To the shortstop, another ground ball. Uribe throws to Iguchi, and Guerrero has not helped this Angels team at all in this ALCS. We go to the 4th inning. The Angels have tied it. It's 1-1.
Okay, thank you.
I'm new here for the Bank of America.
The largest network of ATMs and banks in the country. Only from Bank of America. Higher standards.
There's a new way to heat things up. New Dentine Fire Mints. New Dentine Fire Mints. 50 naughty bits of cinnamon desire. Get hot, go bold.
Nothing outperforms Gillette M3 Power Nitro. Push the button and feel the boost in performance. Gillette's battery-powered motor sends micropulses to the patented Power Glide blades. Get unsurpassed comfort and the world's best shave. M3 Power blows away the competition. You'll be blown away or Gillette will give you your money back, guaranteed. Try Gillette M3 Power, the world's best shave, or your money back.
You're grilling for us?
Well,
steak.
Hey, Brian. We smelled the grill. We? Yeah.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill.
This is nice.
For grilled taste that really draws a crowd, think outside the bun.
The League Championship Series on Fox is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you? By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By the Sharp Aquos, there's more to see. And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American Revolution. Paul Konerko first up for the White Sox, and Konerko is 0 for 1. He's driven home 6 runs in this series, and he gets under this ball into left. Juan Rivera is there. 1 out. The Pepsi Power Hitters home run leaderboard for the postseason. Konerko is on the list. He's gone deep 4 times. Garrett Anderson 3 times. His teammate Benji Molina 3 times. For the White Sox, A.J. Pierzynski with 3. You think you've got the heart to homer with the best and score points at record speed? Log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword is Pepsi. Here's Everett. Good breaking ball from Bird for strike 1. They've now changed that wild pitch that they initially called against Contreras to a passed ball last half inning. Academic. 0-2 on Everett.
Curveball, fastball away. Often the first pitch of a sequence is not the pitch designed to get a hitter out with. You show him that pitch and then go to other pitches.
And now Everett is having a little discussion with Rapuano.
We've talked about it before, but with 2 strikes, Everett will spread out a little more and do away with the leg kick.
And he wraps a base hit into center with 1 out. Go-ahead run is on for the White Sox here in the 4th on an 0-2 pitch. That'll bring in Aaron Rowan. Everett is now complaining to Tim Raines, his first base coach, about Ed Rapuano.
Here's what you're talking about, Lou. The leg kick, the high leg kick on the second pitch, fastball away. And now in the this is the second pitch strike once again. And now the 0-2 pitch. No leg kick.
No leg kick. Using his hands more.
Good breaking ball from Bird for strike 1. Rowan doubled and scored his first time up. 13 home runs during the regular season. Played the heck out of center field, and Ozzie Guillen believes he should be a Gold Glover. That misses. A ball and a strike.
Early September, the Yankees and the White Sox played a series at Yankee Stadium. The White Sox won 2 out of 3. And I think Aaron Rowan in that 3-game series showed the city of New York how center field should be played. He was everywhere.
And not only the city of New York, but the media up there. And
right.
So many members have votes for postseason awards, and Aaron Rowan is trying to win a Gold Glove. Last outfielder for the White Sox to win a Gold Glove, Ken Berry, in 1970. 2-1.
Certainly one of the outfielders in the American League that deserves recognition, but there are a few others. Torrey Hunter in Minnesota can really go get the ball. Vernon Wells in Toronto,
who won it last year.
I had a guy in Seattle that really played center field well, Ken Griffey Jr.
I've heard of him.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then we traded Jr. for another real good center fielder, Mike Cameron.
A little better try on the pickoff throw, but Everett's back.
And I know Mike had some problems physically this year. I hope he's fine. They had that incident where he and the left fielder ran together.
Just nasty with the Mets.
Collision with Beltran in San Diego in right center field, low to the ground, a horrible collision.
That is a hanging breaking ball, hook foul, crushed by Rowand. So as you look at Aaron Rowand at the plate, here's more about him. Childhood idol Walter Payton, favorite actor Matthew McConaughey, favorite band you're listening to Linkin Park, favorite vacation spot Jamaica Mom. All that bundled up in Aaron Rowand. And a nice play by Kennedy up to grab it. And he had to time his jump right, and he did. 2 out.
If you jump too soon on a ball like this, you're coming down as the ball's going up. Nicely done.
Really nice play. I thought he had just enough to get it over the infielder's head.
Good base running by Carl Everett. There are some runners who'd be doubled up on a play like that.
Now Everett's at first with 2 out for Pierzynski. He's greeted with boos every time he walks to the plate. Off the hand, shallow left, Rivera coming. He's there, and the inning is over. A hit by Everett. He's left at first. White Sox have stranded 3. Adam Kennedy showing some ups and some leather. Still tied at 1.
Men love trucks. Why? Because trucks don't ask why. And Chevy trucks are the true trucks.
If you believe, won't you please raise your hands? Let's hear your voices. Let us know where you stand. Shout from the shadows, 'cause the dawn may have down. Now more than ever.
Z71s, Duramax diesels, and the new 345 horsepower Vortec Max. There will always be imitators. But the fact is, Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Not just a saying, but the world is up. Now more than ever.
Silverado from Chevy. Long live the truck.
It's a fact. The more we learn about how to take care of ourselves and our families, the longer and healthier our lives become. That's why more people turn to WebMD than any other health information source. It's a place where people find answers to health questions with an ease never before possible, where doctors discover new and better ways to care for their patients. A place where everyone can finally forge a link between better information and better health. WebMD.
With so much more to see, shouldn't you be watching it on the Aquas Liquid Crystal Television? From Sharp.
Dad, you know how you like to be everywhere I am? Now you can be.
With Family Talk from Singular. Add a line for just $9.99 and get exclusive phones like the Black Razor and Rocker with iTunes. Singular, raising the bar.
Clean up on aisle 3.
House is TV's unlikeliest new hero.
Can't we just agree that you're incredibly annoying?
He's medicine's most brilliant mind.
Get the crash cart. He's having a cardiac arrest.
And the hospital's toughest case.
Are you being intentionally dense?
Huh? House returns with all new episodes Tuesday, November 1st on Fox. Viewer discretion advised.
Bottom of the 4th inning. Tied at 1. Pitch up and away to Darren Erstad to start from José Contreras. It'll be Erstad, Molina, and Kochman. If anybody gets on Rivera, who scored the only run tonight for the Angels, driven in by Kennedy last inning. Hard hit, nice pick by Konerko to his left, 1 out. During the break, we visited with a pitching coach for the Angels, Bud Black. Well, Bud Black, you have to be awfully pleased with what you're seeing from Paul Byrd. I saw he had a little meeting with some of the players down at the end of the dugout before those guys went out on the field, as Finley gives you a little shoulder bump. He's trying as best he can to get some life down in that dugout, it seems.
Yeah, Paul got the guys together right before he went out and gave him his best new Rockney. Hopefully it works. He's throwing the ball well, so let's hope it continues.
What is it that you look for to tell you that he is pitching and has his good stuff tonight?
If he's throwing the ball inside and getting in on some people, choking off their swings, which he's done tonight, that shows me his fastball's crisp, his breaking ball's getting in on their hands. That's usually a good indicator that he's throwing the ball well.
And as you guys face elimination, who isn't available, right? Your whole bullpen is stocked down there.
We got everybody. Hopefully, you know, we're thinking that maybe Nolan Ryan or Frank Tanana would come back, but we got everybody down there.
All right, thanks, Bud.
All right, guys.
That includes Jared Washburn. And it includes what could be a long night as Molina loses his bat. Could be a long night for Kelvim Escobar, who, according to Mike Scioscia, if it was necessary, could give the Angels 4 innings tonight. So far, so good from Byrd.
Well, Escobar hasn't pitched in the past couple nights, so he's nice and rested.
Was a starter at the beginning of the season. Here's a 1-2 from Contreras, 2-2.
Thought it was an interesting comment Bud Black made about choking off the hitter's swing and getting inside. The last 2 outs the White Sox made, Aaron Rowan, the nice play by Adam Kennedy, and then he gets inside on Krasinski to end the inning.
A 2-2 to Molina, lined, caught by Uribe, but he throws anyway. It's the series with extra outs, and that's the second out of the inning. Uribe, I believe he thought he caught it, but just to make sure he didn't play umpire and threw it on to first, and with Molina running, an easy out, 2 down.
Every player on the field will make sure on any balls that are close to the ground. It's an easy call.
John Lackey is out in that pen tonight. As it stands right now, if this series continues, you know the next 2 starters for the White Sox, Burley and Garland, and for the Angels, they would love to not have to dip into Washburn and or Lackey, and they could use those 2 for games 6 and 7 in Chicago. With 2 out, here's a 1-0 to Kochman. 2-0.
Well, that's a luxury that Mike Scioscia doesn't have. Whoever is available tonight, whoever he needs, he needs to bring into the ball game.
With 2 down, Kochman was looking to rip, and it's 2-1. Well, Kochman wasn't waiting around, Tim, for a 2-0 pitch. He was ready to hack.
Yeah, 2 out, nobody on. You want to put the Angels ahead. Take advantage of the count.
Kochman 7 home runs during the regular season, hit over 300 after he was recalled in August. Now it's 3-1, and he can look to hammer it again.
Earlier in the year, you could crowd him a little more with the ball, but after he came back from the minors in August, bat was much quicker.
Don't want to crowd him now. 3-1.
And a 2-out walk. Second walk in as many innings to the Angels from Contreras. This day in baseball history, October 16 of 1974. Kenny Holtzman, who hadn't hit all season, belted a 3rd inning home run against the Dodgers in Game 4 of the World Series. Is the winning pitcher with help from Raleigh Fingers in relief. For more MLB info, log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Budweiser. 1 on 2 out for Juan Rivera, who has doubled and scored. Strike 1. Rivera, a former Yankee prospect, and he has gotten better every year swinging the bat. To the point where tonight, with the Angels facing elimination, Scioscia wanted to get his bat in the lineup. 93 miles per hour. Rivera in the hole 0-2.
That was a nasty two-seam fastball. The two-seamer running into the right-handed hitter and away from the left-hander. Doesn't mean he'll throw it.
Pitch, and Creedy catches it down the line to end the inning. A walk, a man left. Angels have left 4. We go to the 5th, game number 5, tied at 1. Back after this from your local station.
I'm Corey McFerrin, Angel Stadium in Anaheim. Tonight after the game, Jack McDowell alongside once again. We'll take a look back at this game. We'll have highlights, reaction, and take a look ahead at what's next for the White Sox.
Now during Menards Kitchen and Bath Sale, you'll save big on the widest selection of kitchen and bath products, like faucets from Moen, Delta, and Price Pfister. Add style with cabinets from Schrock and Medallion. You'll save on whirlpools from Aqualux. Don't forget about appliances. Menards carries brand names like Jen Air and Whirlpool. Update your home and save big money right now during Menards Kitchen and Bath Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Dad, I got an A in advanced physics.
This is very disappointing.
Dad.
You're burning through our wireless minutes again. We need to talk.
Dad, it's just...
This wireless bill is out of control.
Not enough minutes on your family's wireless plan?
10 calls in one day?
Come to T-Mobile, where families get more whenever minutes to share. Nice dress.
Families talk free and get the most whenever minutes.
T-Mobile, get more minutes.
There's a place in Joliet where the gambling action is always hotter, with distinctive dining and live music at the all-new Stage 151. Wide open excitement and more ways to win. Plus, a whole new look you gotta see. Only at Harrah's Joliet.
Electronic four-wheel drive. Vehicle stability assist with traction control. And an available navigation system with off-road tracking. The Acura MDX. Its heart's in the right place, even if you're not.
Paul Byrd will face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the White Sox in the 5th, a tie game. Creedy first up. Not only has Creedy come up with some big hits and he has an RBI sac fly tonight, but he's played a very good third base for Chicago in this series.
Excellent.
Westphalia, Missouri. He takes it down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We're talking Ozzie Guillen. Talking about the good pitching he has.
Here's a test for Figgins, who gets it with a backhand. Wow.
But he gives a lot of credit to the White Sox defense for the good pitching that they have. And you look at their baseball team, they've got above average defenders at every position.
And Guillen was known for his defense when he played for, what, 13 years with the White Sox, and then ended up bouncing around a little at the end of his career. Finished with Bobby Cox and the Atlanta Braves. With 1 out, here's Uribe, and there's a ball up and in.
Now, Ozzie was a character as a player, and he's still a character as a manager.
The owner of the White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf, calls him his Hispanic Jackie Mason.
Here's a pitch down and in, 2-0 on Uribe.
I mean, you start looking forward to the meetings with him. He's hilarious. Not a tight bone in his body.
Here's a 2-0 with 1 out. Uribe takes the strike. Played with the White Sox from 85 to 97. That's hard hit and past Figgins down the line. Uribe will end up at second base. The throw there. Uribe is safe as he gets around the tag of Adam Kennedy.
What a great slide by Uribe. That was a changeup by Paul Bird, fielded quickly by Rivera.
What a great throw by Rivera.
Yeah, it was.
Now anytime there's a close play, you wait for the replay. And according to Jerry Crawford, the right hand of Uribe got on the bag before the tag. Then the left hand ends up on the base, out at second. Uribe is there, one out. And the batter is Podsednik. Strike one. Strikeout, a ground out tonight, and he is doing what the Angels need Sean Figgins to do in this series. Get on base, make things happen, steal a base. Podsednik scored 4 runs. Figgins has yet to touch home plate. Figgins 1 for 15 in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike on Podsednik. A 1-1. Way outside. 2-1 with a Gucci on deck.
I think Juan Rivera is too deep in left field. Scott Podsednik had no home runs this year, 2 triples. And the one thing you do not want is an opposite field flare to fall in front of you if you're the left fielder.
Two and two.
When I'm managing and you got a runner in scoring position, I always have my coaches instructed, take a look at the base runner, make sure he's not doing anything different to alert the hitter what's coming.
Right now, Uribe is out there. Podsednik is at the plate. Uribe, Cabrera, and Bird all looking at the sign flashed by Benji Molina. Looks like Podsednik's trying to go the opposite way, and the count's still 2-2.
He's a line drive hitter, and when you hit the ball the other way, you use your arms. When you pull the ball, you use your body and your arms. That's why you can afford to play shallow in the opposite field, particularly for a guy with not a lot of power.
Plus, Podsednik is off deeper in the batter's box, further away from home plate.
2-2. Another one fouled off to the left. You saw Shields getting loose for the Angels out in their bullpen. Regular season, you wouldn't even think about it, but Bird is approaching 70 pitches on the night. He's pitched well, but there is no margin for error. Two again from Bird. And he can't put Podsednik away. Only 25 RBIs for the leadoff hitter for the White Sox, Podsednik, during the regular season. He homered against the Red Sox in Game 1 of the division series after going over 500 at-bats during the regular season without going deep. Not close, full count.
Tried the backdoor breaking ball there and got away from it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming to Podsednik. Podsednik works a walk, and he did work for it. 2 on, 1 out. First walk handed out by Bird, and we look ahead to tomorrow night. Game 5 of the NLCS between the Cardinals and the Astros in a rematch, as Chris Carpenter will make the start a front runner for the Cy Young Award. He'll be on the mound for St. Louis, and Andy Pettitte will go for the Astros. That's tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here on Fox. And the Cardinals trying to win to get the series back to St. Louis. If the Astros win tomorrow night, not only are they in the World Series, but the current Busch Stadium will have seen its last baseball game. It'll come down 2 weeks after the Cardinals are finished this year, however deep they go into the playoffs. Here's Iguchi. A double, a walk, 1 out. And Shields is ready to go if the Angels want to tap him on the shoulder here in the 5th. Off balance, Iguchi pops it up. Rivera is there for out number 2. And now it's Dye.
Excuse me, Joe, you think about how difficult it is to hit, and that left shoulder flying out of Iguchi while the slider's going away. There's no way to put solid contact on it. The slider goes away, the shoulder pulls out.
Yeah, a little bit of a quick hip, too, front hip.
2 on, 2 out. Dye could put the White Sox back on top. That's into left center field, and he has done just that. Rivera cuts it off, a run scores, and the White Sox are up 2-1. A 2-out base hit by Jermaine Dye, and Chicago regains the lead here in the 5th.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Shields in the ball game right now.
That's exactly what's happening as Jermaine Dye puts the White Sox on top, and had Cabrera come up throwing, they have a shot at Dye at second base. Uribe scoring the go-ahead run.
So the Angels facing elimination tonight. See Bird get into the 5th. He leaves with 2 outs in the inning, and the White Sox lead 2-1.
They're right behind me.
I see him.
Go south.
Head for the roof.
That way. I sent the package overnight.
Should be there by 8:30.
Should be there?
Trust me, he'll be there.
The most trusted color on earth. UPS. What can brown do for you?
Hey, Teddy, I hate to bother you. You sent my melon to Peyton, P-E-Y.
Groceries, $41.
That's awesome, man. Charlie!
Oil change, $25.
You're good, too. Decaf!
Lunch,
Decaf!
$12.
Great shift today, guys. Nice salad bar.
Your favorite players,
yes,
priceless.
Yes! Yes!
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You signed the bread to my little brother. He loves you.
The best thing about insuring your life is that you're actually insuring theirs. Life insurance, loans, retirement. AIG.
Game time. In 5 days. Holy. Doom rated R.
Run!
For years, E-Trade stood outside, throwing stones at the financial establishment. Now that we've matured and offer everything from trading to banking, we're doing it from inside. Be extraordinary at eTrade.com.
Here is Scott Shields. He's thrown just under 10 innings this postseason in 7 games. He has a rubber arm, and he is so valuable now picking up for Bird here in the 5th inning. The White Sox have regained the lead, have 2nd and 3rd, 2 out, and Konerko up, and he takes the ball.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia obviously liked this matchup better. Shields with more velocity.
After making the change, Scioscia stayed out there for a moment to talk about the situation. First base is open. Konerko waits for a 1-0 and hits it in the air to left. Rivera is back at the track just in front of it to end the inning. The fans here at Angel Stadium held their breath as that ball fell short and into the glove of Rivera. Uribe started the rally with a 1-out double. Jermaine Dye put Chicago back on top with a 2-out RBI double. 2-1 Chicago after 4.5.
What if the air were clean again? Would the grass be greener? Would you live longer? Feel better? What if all cars released 80% fewer smog-forming emissions? Hybrid Synergy Drive from Toyota. The power to move forward.
You challenged everything that came before you, and nothing looked or felt or sounded the same way again. That was you then. And the great thing is, that's still you now. We are the personal advisors of Ameriprise Financial, the next generation of American Express financial advisors. Because a generation as unique as this needs a new generation of personal financial planning.
You're a Marine here in Saudi Arabia. Are you glad to be here?
I'm very proud to serve my country here.
It is an honor to defend America. I miss my parents.
Saddam Hussein has just said the mother of all battles is upon us.
God, show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.
I thank God for every day that he gives me in the Corps. Ooh,
Rated R. In theaters Friday, November 4th.
It's The Simpsons' all-new Treehouse of Horror when Bart is replaced by a robot.
Eat my shorts. I will comply.
Here, make me a kitty. All new Sunday, November 6th, only on Fox.
Contreras and the White Sox have the lead again. It's 2-1, bottom of the 5th. 9-1-2 for the Angels. Kennedy, Figgins, and Cabrera. Anybody gets on Anderson. Game 5. White Sox up 3-1, and the count goes to 2-0 on Kennedy. An RBI hit for Adam his first time up. Three 3-0. One.
I think with a guy like Kennedy up there, you may see him take 3-1 also. Make Contreras throw 3 strikes in a row.
Full count.
Scratch that, thinking. Some analysis, huh?
That was stellar.
Thanks, Joe.
On 3-2, Contreras, Kennedy, Creedy, tough play. A hop, a throw, a hit.
Joe Creedy with too much to do. Ball's going to his right. He goes to his right. Jumps, throws, too much to do in too little time.
I wouldn't be in too much of a hurry to bunt this guy over here now. Figgins is a pretty darn good hitter. Even though he struggled, the chances of him hitting into a double play are very, very small. You know, I know in postseason managers get conservative, but boy, I'll tell you this, I would take my chances with Figgins swinging the bat here.
Figgins is 1 for 15 in this series. And he does not tip his hand early if he's going to bunt. He never squared around as Contreras threw over.
I think it would be a major surprise if he doesn't bunt here, the way he's been swinging the bats.
Let's see how Scioscia wants to play it. Hit and run. Figgins into right. Down the line. A hop. It's interfered with by a fan. And that takes a run off the board. A fan reached over, and Mike Scioscia, here we go again, is going to run out and argue that that costs, with that fan interference, the Angels a run. And had that stayed in play, there is no doubt that Kennedy would have scored. Now the umpires are going to get together. And we'll see if, in the umpire's discretion, they give Kennedy home plate. It's a tie game. The Angels get a call. Mark it down here in the 5th inning of Game 5. And Lou Piniella, you said to keep aggressive, stay aggressive. And that's even more than you were calling for. That was a hit and run double into right.
Good play by Scioscia. Why change the things that you've been doing all year? Now, the only thing I question, they gave the runner home plate, and rightfully so. Figgins would have had an easy triple on that ball.
And there's no doubt that that fan reached over and in front of that small wall down the right field line interfered with it. Kennedy would have scored easily.
Particularly with the circular, with the cutout right there in right field. Ball's not going to come back to Jermaine Guy. Right back to him. It's going to rattle around. Kennedy would have scored easily. Good call, Lou.
And so now with Figgins, the go-ahead run at second. Nobody out. You've got Cabrera at the plate.
Now do you bunt?
I bunt here.
And so does Scioscia as Cabrera takes a ball low. The other side of this is you've got a guy in Cabrera who came into this game hitting .432 in his career in the postseason with runners on. He's one guy who does not appear intimidated by the glare of the spotlight in October. At first pitch, he showed bunt. It's 2-0.
He's getting himself into a good hitter's count here.
Updated to .421. Cabrera's average in the postseason with a man on. And in this case, Figgins is already in scoring position.
You know, they're not holding Figgins on too much.
Now they swing, and Cabrera chops it to Iguchi. Good play. Terrific play by Iguchi, and Cabrera advances Figgins to third, one down.
Good baseball.
Good play by Iguchi in one motion. Throws out Cabrera. Now the White Sox have to bring their infield in.
We go back to that ball down the line and give you a two-box look at it. Kennedy was over halfway to third when the fan reached over and interfered, and then it's up to the umpire. And they awarded Kennedy home plate to tie it. Now it's Figgins at third, one out, as the Angels try to take their first lead of the night. It's up to Garrett Anderson with the infield in.
I think they go on contact here.
Strike one from Contreras.
Even with the infield in.
Even with Guerrero on deck. Because the way Guerrero's swinging the bat.
This postseason, Garrett Anderson, 3 for 4. with runners in scoring position. That bounces in there, and what a terrific play by Pierzynski as he turned himself into a wall.
And A.J. Wall, for those of you who may not know what going on contact is, if you're the runner on at third base, you've got to cheat home, land on your right foot with the balls in the hitting area, and go home on a ground ball. Anything in the air, you retreat to third.
Biggins with great speed at third. A 1-1 pitch. Not close.
Yeah, he's as quick a base runner as there is in the American League, and probably in all of baseball.